Hello, Spiritually True family. Welcome back to yet another episode. So, this episode is Let's Unpack. The last video I left, I made a statement in that video. Okay, let me help you unpack. I want to be able to help people to unpack. So, what is unpacking? Well, first, how can we talk about unpacking if you don't even know what you packed? So the packing point is, as we walk through life, we go through different events and circumstances that impact us in a certain way. And the next thing we know, we're carrying things that we did not know that we were still carrying. And what brought me to this is because when I began to awaken to the divine in such I want to say a dramatic way, because it was a lot of tears. It was a lot of why God this, why God that, why am I not being loved? Why do I feel like, why do I feel all these things? So writing my book was my first book was a way for me to unpack the things that I had packed in me and suppressed. So the importance of unpacking is to shed off those layers or those things that we have allowed ourselves to pack in us. Sometimes we don't even know that we even packed this stuff. Because when I tell you, I wrote this book maybe like a year ago, and you're talking about probably 20 plus years of pain that I didn't even realize was still down in me. And in my book, I talk about how in some of our families have gotten into this tradition of, oh, well, that thing happened to you. We don't talk about this. This is a secret. You're going to have to push that down and put a pretty blanket over it. And meanwhile, while you're putting this carpet over the pain and the things that you've been through, there is a underlying infection that is going on underneath this carpet. Because as the years go by, you're wondering why, why am I like this? Why do I always feel like nobody accepts me? Why do I always feel like I'm not loved? Why do I always feel hurt in the process? Why am I always the one getting hurt? Those are the things that we're packing in. And we just really don't understand that as we pack this, it changes the perception of the true us. It changes the true divine essence of the authentic you. So that is the importance of unpacking. The importance of unpacking is to take off everything so you can get back to that divinely authentic you. The one that God has called for you to rise up. But it's hard to rise up when there's so much that's suppressing you. I went through that. I talked about it in the last video, where I felt the need that I didn't know enough, or I wasn't knowledgeable enough. Where did that come from? That was something I packed in a bag from an event. So as I go back in my mind, and mind you, this is an exercise, so I'm really hoping that you guys can try this exercise and see if this exercise works for you. It definitely worked for me. So go back in your mind to an event where you know that you were tremendously hurt. And in that event, that person is hurting you in a way that is doing things in a way that you feel hurt. So while you're watching this event play out, I want you to pay attention to what happens in the event. What happens in the event is you make it you. Like in my event, I made what that person may have said, oh, you're not smart enough. And I took that. And I'm like, I'm not smart enough. I'm not knowledgeable enough. That was the perception that I took from that hurt. That one perception altered so much and really just suppressed so much in me. Suppressed the authentic me of knowing that I am smart. I am intelligent. I can do anything that I put my mind to. So, as that event plays off in your mind, as you go back in this event and you're watching this event play off, try changing the event to making it that person. Because that person that may be saying that or doing that, it's not because they're intentionally trying to hurt you. That's only because there's been an event in their life, or there's been a, what do you want to call it? There has been a conditioning from either growing up from their parents or an uncle or somebody that was close to them that had enough influence to tell them something and then pick it up and run with it and believe it. And then as they run with it and believe it, here they are in front of you saying the same thing that somebody told them. And they believed it. This is the difference between you and that person. Your perception can change. You can choose to have a different perception of the event that you have encountered. Because of the event that I encountered of you're not smart enough. Oh, you're not intelligent. You're not smart enough. Because of that event, I adopted a perception of I'm not smart enough to do this. And in the last video, I talked about me feeling like I didn't have the knowledge. And I kept telling God, okay, God, I want to take one more class. I need to get one more class so I could feel like I have the knowledge that I need to have to go forth. But in actuality, I wasn't trusting the divine in me. That was a limiting belief, a perception that I picked up and I adopted. So in making my video yesterday, well, not yesterday, but the last video I posted, in making that, God made this so bluntly to me. Hey, I have called you for this. I need for you to rise up. No more classes. No more anything. I want you to just get up there and I want you to speak. I want you to help the people as I have helped you get to where you are to be free. No more limitations. No more limited mindsets. No more limited belief. Did you guys know that the more you think about, oh, I'm not smart, oh, I'm not loved, oh, nobody loves me, am I not beautiful enough? Those repetitions of the thoughts that you have is a belief system. So in adopting that perception, this perception can be altered. God says you have the power to alter your perception of your past hurts. And the more that you learn how to alter your perceptions, the more free you will be. Because if we don't alter our perceptions, we're stuck in this merry-go-round of I'm not worthy, I'm not beautiful, I'm not loved, I'm not smart, I can't do this because I'm not smart enough. That is limitation. You have set a limit to what you can do. You have put a resistance or a blockage to your divine spirit. And we be like, oh God, take the limits off. He never put the limits on you. These limitations come from what we pick up. And if we don't, that God says, my people are destroyed due to lack of knowledge of who we are. Not what you do, because it's not what you do. It's about who you are. It's about being the authentic version of you. Taking off all the pain, taking off every mask that society has offered you, that maybe your family or somebody has said something to you, and you've put this mask on that's not you. So what are the actions that are taken from these events that happen in our life? Or it was me. Or is it me? It was me. We go through these events and we're like, oh, all the blame, we take all the blame on us. Like, we turned it into me. You turned it into you. And it's not you. It's not you. That's theirs. That's what they're carrying, because that was their conditioning. That was something that they picked up. So in coming across an event where someone says something that is not kind, that is horrible, and you can feel a certain way, stop, take a deep breath, and alter your perception. Okay, this person isn't doing it because it's me. This person is doing it because it's them. Doing this changes the whole outcome. It changes the outcome, the perspective of where you were. When I went back and I did this event, and I went into the events that I've had in life, and it wasn't me. It was actually them, because that's what they learned. That's what they were taught. That's what they were shown. That's what they were demonstrated. We are like little mockingbirds. We demonstrate a lot of things that we see and hear. And we accept what we see and hear at times. And that's where God has given us that divine power to alter those perceptions. So when something does happen, you can look at it, okay, it's not me. This is them. This is because they've experienced the past hurt. Now, how can you help them in this perception of what they're in? Because we have to know that events that happen is just not about us. It's about the other people in the event as well. And if we are truly in the time where we are accessing, we are awakening the mindset of Christ, that means our functioning are the way we think, because everything is mental. When they talk about the mind is a terrible thing to waste and that the mind is the devil's playground, that's because that is the most important thing. Mental. God is mental. The universe is mental. So this struggling with the mentality of mentalism, we got to start being in a position to where when things happen, we don't pick it up as us. We pick it up as them. And that's how you change. I'm looking at notes. I took notes. This is how you change your outcome to a more positive, more constructive outcome. So you're not putting on these masks, these layers of different things. So I really hope that this has helped you to understand the packing and unpacking, the importance of why we need to unpack. And trust me, I know there are some past things that we don't want to encounter anymore, that we don't even want to feel anymore. But in order for our essence, the divine essence of the authentic you to arise, for the authentic me to arise, I have to be willing to face this. Because if you don't, you're giving it your power. Then you're giving all your power away. We are power. We are the divine power. We are the power of God that He's using us to demonstrate his power in the earth. So I really hope and pray that this helps or gives you something else to think about on becoming a better you. Let's do this 2025 on becoming a better you. Me becoming a better me. You know, I think I know that I'm becoming a better me because I'm on this platform. This platform has been made for a while. In the contemplation of wanting to hide and not be seen, you know, and thinking that I wasn't worthy, that I don't deserve, or that I'm not knowledgeable in anything. And here it is, I've spent almost 2 years just taking classes after classes, reading books after books. You know, however God led me to learn what I needed to learn, that's what he led me, and I trusted. And sometimes those events in our past can lead us into a place of not truly trusting. Because let me tell you, I had I guess I can call it an epiphany, or God just like, hey, you know, but I started to understand that I was not trusting my intuition. How is it that I'm standing in my living room and I'm praising and I'm worshiping and I'm praying, God, I trust you, and I don't even trust myself? Because we have to trust ourselves because God is in us. So if I'm not trusting the inner me, that's almost like saying I don't trust God. God is the one that gives us those notions, and those notions, hey, don't go over there, you know, come on back over here. You know, how am I standing here and I'm not trusting me to embrace this platform of YouTube, and I'm not trusting myself to go on here? And it's like saying that I don't trust God. And God said, hey, I am in you. So if you don't trust me, you're saying, if you don't trust you, you're saying that you don't trust me. Whew, man, that was a lot to unpack the other day. And I just stood there just looking crazy and baffled. And like, God, this is so true, because this goes back to the law of divine oneness. Everything is connected. If you are spending all your time worshiping a God that you think is outside of your body, I don't even know what to say to that, because that's the first law of the universe, divine oneness. Everything is connected, seen and unseen. And he tells us in the Bible that if you obeyed in me, I obeyed in you. And Jesus said, I and the Father are one, because the Father abated in him and he abated in the Father. So if we are in God and God is in us and God are one. You guys have a great night, and I will definitely be back for some more of what I just gave. You guys have a great night, and thank you guys for showing up to Spiritually True. Thank you for the ones that have been watching, and I pray that everything that I say is blessing you, because I'm only being moved by God, and I move through God and by God. So you guys have a great night.